What's up YouTube? Louis J. DiPaolo Jr. Raw Thoughts vlog. The date is April 14th, 2019. Addition by subtraction. That's really what I want to talk about here. If you could see this, I don't know, maybe if the camera, if it gets like screwy. Let me see. I could turn it sideways. Listen, guys. I am in a heartbreaking move. See? I'm selling my PlayStation on eBay. And this is not an easy thing for me to do. It's not because I'm desperate for money or something like that, or I need to liquidate all my assets. This is a good place to start. There's a fantastic book out there for any songwriter or poetry enthusiast. Writing Better Lyrics by Patterson. I've read it twice and I'm probably going to read it 3 times sometime later this year, just because it's that incredible. Like, so much incredible wisdom in this book. So I was in a band with a chick who went to Berkeley. What's up, Allie? And Allie knew Patterson there. You know, he's a teacher there. So I got his email address and I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, look, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to practice songwriting, but I struggle with the editing process. It seems like I don't know. Like, I have all of these great tools to write the song, but how do I know what's good and what's not in editing? That's sometimes a struggle for me. And Pat sent me a story, a little short story he wrote. Shout out to you, Patterson. You're inspiration. You're an awesome guy. And Pat sent me this story, and it was called like polishing the silver bowl, something like that. And it was about this bowl he got. And it was this old ceramic, old ceramic bowl, and it had all of this tarnish on the inside, and he was going to throw it out, but it was an old relic, something he had for decades. So he figured, you know what, I'm going to get polish and I'm going to put some elbow grease into it and I'm going to clean it. So he goes to the store, gets all the polish, the wipes, everything, goes back, and he spends hours just scrubbing the hell out of this bowl. He finishes scrubbing, he washes it, rinses it, lets it dry, and then he realized, oh, well, now I got these like little specks all everywhere on the inside and outside. So what am I going to do here? Am I going to just throw this out? Well, no. You know what? I spent all this time cleaning. I'm going to finish what I did. So he takes the polish, puts it back on the cloth, starts scrubbing, and he cleans out. And as he cleans out these little extra pieces of dirt or tarnish, then he finds just a couple more things that are bothering him. So then he cleans those out. And finally he has this seemingly refurbished bowl, a perfectly clean bowl that not too long ago was completely tarnished, something that probably most of us would throw out. And he said to me, you know, Louis, when you're editing, right? If you try to edit all the little things, the small details, in a nutshell, you're never going to really get the full picture. Kind of the process of editing is you take the big thing, the big distraction, the big obstacle, the thing that's really not working, and you cut it out. You get rid of all the big things that aren't working. And once you get rid of like the majority of it, right, and 80% of the bowl is clean, now you're sitting there and you're looking at this 20% that's dirty, but now you're seeing the 20%. So he said, Louis, when you're editing, you get rid of the big things, and then there are a bunch of small things that then present themselves. And then you're able to, and be grateful for the opportunity to edit these small things that you might not have noticed when you had this huge thing on your plate. When I look at my life in the long run, people, when I was 20, my dad sent me a text the day I turned 20. And it's this long text, and he called me in the morning, and then later in the day, I guess he was feeling emotional. And he sends me this text, and it's this long text, and essentially he said, the 20s are the foundation of your life. Spend your time wisely, because the direction you go, it will dictate your life. Not to say that you're doomed, right? Let's say you had a bad 20s, you didn't spend them the best way you could have. You're not doomed to that life. But you still are malleable. You're still malleable. You're forming. You want to form the shape you'd like to be before you really harden. And you can always chip away and change, but you really want to make the big changes while you're still soft. If that makes sense. And he sent me that text, and he said, don't waste your 20s. Your 20s are the most important decade in your life. Not to say they're the best, but they're the most important in terms of getting you going in a direction. And thank you, Daddy, for telling me that. It's good advice, but it really upsets me a lot of times. It's the reason I make these videos so often. I'm just kind of sitting up here thinking what am I not doing, and sort of caught in that loop. When I look back at 23, it's my age at the moment. I turned 24 this summer. Shout out to Future Lewis. What's up, Future Lewis? I'm doing this work for you, man. I'm doing this work for you. I'm putting in the work now so you will have a better life. I love you, Future Lewis. When I look back at my life and I look at 23, what I'm going to remember 23 by is not anything insane. It's not the crazy addition to my life, but rather the positive subtraction. Maybe that's a better title. I like that title. Positive subtraction. I think that'll be the title. That's how I'm going to remember my age right now, 23, positive subtraction. I've had a huge issue in my life, right? And we all have that one thing that's really holding us back. We have a lot of little things, but we all have one thing that's holding us back. And it's something that's been holding me back for 4 years, about 4 or 5 years. And it really has been a not so easy time for me. And I remember reading a quote that upset me, right? And I think I'm starting realizing things that upset me are because it strikes some truth within. And the quote was something like, you can't fly while you can't fly while you hold on to your chains, or to finally fly you must let go of your chains, something like that. And in a way it relates, shout out Game of Thrones, it relates to the Arya Stark sequence of to become anything you have to become nothing. You really have to get rid of everything that you are that makes you you, and not really. You have to cut out all of these identifiers, these things that are trying to root and plant you, so you can be free flowing with some sort of direction and guidance, obviously. And for me, I've had a couple of things and habits in my life that have really been holding me back. We all have that one big thing. Somebody's could be overeating. That's not my case. I wish that was my case, but that's not my case. Some people it's overeating. Some people it's on the phone too much. Some people it's they need to be at the club every night. They have to go clubbing every night, and that makes them, whatever the heck it is. Right? Maybe it's Netflix, maybe it's, who knows? We all have that one thing that we do to escape. Whatever it may be, we have several of them, but there's just that one big thing. And I've been dealing with this thing for years, man. Years, 4, 5 years. The people closest to me know it. I've been fighting with this, and finally I fucking got it out of my life. And I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be free of it. And for a while I thought, like, once I got rid of this big boulder, that my life would just take off and I would be perfect and everything's great. And I realized it's the opposite. You know, you get rid of like that, whatever that big thing is. Let's say it's Netflix, right? You cut out the Netflix in your life, and you will feel like you're invincible for about like 2 or 3 weeks. You're just invincible. Nobody can touch you. You don't watch Netflix anymore. You don't sit there wasting your time on TV, yada yada yada. You're a god. And then after that honeymoon wears off, you crash. You crash like a rock. Because you realize everything else that we were avoiding comes back to now we have to deal with it. It surfaces like Patterson in the bowl, right? He cleans out that big ugly tarnish. But really there's only 80% of the problem. But it was because he got rid of that big problem that he can focus on the little things. That's how I will remember 23. I'm so grateful for where I'm at in my life right now because I got through it, man. I got through it. And it's been a big freaking problem, man. And I've got through it. I'm just at a point in my life now where now I'm cleaning up the little pieces of the bowl. So, you know, like 3 months ago, in an effort to like regain a sense of self, to regain a sense of self, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reconnect with my youth. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to do the activities that I did in my youth. I'm going to go outside and play football with friends and basketball. If I had my gear up here, I'd play hockey. You know, and I'm going to do music, and I'm going to play video games because video games are like my youth. That was like a core part of my identity. I love video games. Well, so what happened was I started like playing video games again, and I'm like, alright, I kind of really like this. And then I started buying video games. So when I say I'm proud of myself for selling this PlayStation, it's not like I just had this thing laying around and I finally said, I'm going to sell it. Like, I've been investing in it the past like month, 2 months. Right? If you look at my Amazon, I've been buying video games. I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy this video game and that video game and that video game. And I've been like stockpiling, I've been playing them, and it's been like awesome. You know, I love the feel, the release. But then I realized, wow, this is the same thing all over again. It's the cycle all over again. That big boulder, you get rid of it, and then you still have these little things. And they're not going to clean themselves up. We have to clean them up. So, for me, I got rid of the boulder. Thank God, man. I got rid of the boulder. Now I have video games. That's like my next thing. So I got to cut that out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm selling my PlayStation. It's a big step for me. Really, it is. I've been investing in it, and now I'm rewinding and selling it. And what happens is, because I think they call it initializing. I essentially wipe the system clean, so that way you can sell it to somebody else, right? And it's like brand new from scratch. So because I'm waiting for it to sell, it's like 5 days, 6 days left on eBay. By the way, hey, if you need a PlayStation, I know a guy. You let me know. Because it's like 5-6 days left, you know. So I wiped it clean, but I haven't been playing it. Because essentially, as I'm concerned now, it's a neutral PlayStation. I don't own it. I'm putting it up for sale. I don't own it. I'm just keeping it stored and in good shape. So what happens when I get bored now? When I'm looking and I'm sitting around my room and I'm bored? Well, I say, you know what? I'm going to make some music. I'm going to edit some software and this and that. I'm going to record some videos. I'm going to pick up the guitar. Like, literally, you know, I have the guitar here, and I have the bass over there. Right behind you, I have the bongos. I have books. You know, I have books over here. I have my juggling balls. I have the harmonica. I have my ocarina. Yeah, I literally have an ocarina. So, you want to see it? You want to see my ocarina? I'm going to get good at this thing. Just because why not? And I want to play like Legend of the Song of Time. Song of Time? Song of Storms. The Song of Storms. Alright. I'm going to get good at this. I'm telling you now. I mean, dude, who's doing that, right? What musician do you know is playing ocarina? That's cool. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I get bored really quickly. I get bored. And then, rather than taking my boredom out on boulder A or boulder B or boulder C, now I'm cutting those out. So really all I'm having left is productive outlets. I'm bored. Okay, now I'm going to make music for an hour, hour and a half. I'm bored. Now I'm going to read a book for an hour, 2 hours. I'm bored. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm bored. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm bored. I'm going to go out to some social event. It's cutting those little handcuffs, right? Saying I'm not going to let myself be held down by this. I'm going to force myself to get uncomfortable again. So that's what I'm doing. I'm proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. We all have those boulders, right? Positive subtraction. That's how I'm going to remember. When I look back at my life, that's how I'm going to remember 23. It's the year of positive subtraction for me. There's 2 ways to make money. You can make money or you can cut expenses. If you're spending $5,000 a month and you can find some way to cut that, cut some of the food out that you're spending, the extra little seamless orders or whatever it is, hey, you save yourself $1 here, $1 here. It's like you're making that money, right? 2 ways to make money. You can make money or you can cut out the expense. And that's where I'm at in my life. I'm cutting out expenses. So I'm proud of myself. I really am. Raw Thoughts vlog, April 14th. Louis J. DePaulo Jr., I love you. Comment. You know what I like? I'd like you to comment. How do you feel about positive subtraction? Let's just talk about it. Again, this is what I want. With Raw Thoughts vlog, I hope that we can create a community of thinkers, people who are thinking, observationalists, people who are looking for self-improvement, right? Let's create this community. So comment. What are some things that are holding you back, right? I just told you I got rid of boulder A and boulder B being the PlayStation and all that. For me, to be honest, next boulder C is probably going to be like the Netflix, the HBO, this and that. Do I really want to get rid of it? That's the next step for me. Maybe for you it might be overeating. For who knows? What is your boulder? What is that thing that you can get rid of? And just imagine your life without it, man. Positive subtraction. Louis J. DePaulo Jr., think about it, comment. If this is helpful for you, if it makes you think, something good to listen to, ambiance, share it. Share it with your friends, your community. Let's build a community. That's what I really want with Raw Thoughts. Let's build a community here. Alright, I love you. Stay smooth.